Here, who else would it be? This is the Knowhere market update. I usually do these on Wednesday mornings. This is now going on opening the daily open for Thursday. So big delay. I've had a lot of delays. First of all, my AC went out. It went out last night. Probably this is probably the first or second day of the year where we had triple digits. We had triple digits today, and we have triple digits the next 2 days. And so that was a priority concern that got fixed, fortunately, but I did have to take the day off for that. In addition to that, you guys know I have a special needs son. I did kind of comment about it on my Twitter X profile, whatever, and he's had probably one of the worst episodes of his entire life. So it's been very tiring. We haven't been able to function. We haven't been able to have conversation, go to events, even go shopping. So I am just thankful you guys are giving me the patience to delay these videos. And I feel bad as well because we had a pretty good week today, and I was not able to get to the charts. So I thank you all, however, though, to help just be patient with this. So it's really appreciated. So I'll get to this. I'm gonna start with Bitcoin as well, and I apologize if I sound tired because I really am. So, but I'll try to edit this to make my voice sound a little better. We'll do Bitcoin first. We'll do daily 4 hour. Well, I think since we had the pump, I think we'll just kind of do another observations with Otsu part two, so to speak. So we'll do the top, six on this list. Um, probably daily and 4 hour perspective, get into some alts. So it might be a little longer of a video as well. And if you are in Nowhere Discord, you can expect a chart request video as soon as I can get to it. I will try to get to it tonight. But we'll see how this goes. So again, I appreciate your patience. I'm going to pause the video behind the scenes. You won't see this as an edit, but I'm going to pause it for a bit, kind of redo everything here, and then start on the charts. So thank you. All right, first of all is Bitcoin, and so we had a pretty decent pump through across the board. I think we had as high as 5% on Solana. I think a couple of percent for Bitcoin, Ethereum. So it's pretty good. Nothing necessarily like game changing. I think it is normal to have a drop that we did. Going, because we had about 7% drop on the one time. I mean, we've dropped technically as low as 12, 13%, depending on how you want to measure that. But we did have a decent bounce the past 24 hours. Now, the question is that a relief bounce? Is this the bottom? And I think I do think, if I'm being honest, it remains to be seen. I think there's not enough evidence to suggest there is a bottom. However, that is the view that I personally take. So, a couple of prevailing theories for why I think this could be the bottom is really from the previous price history that we've had, honestly, since the beginning of the year. Really had this big uptrend, had like a double, almost like a distributive type pattern, where it's basically just a long term bearish divergence that probably would have been invalidated, but it's probably valid on a higher time frame. Had the down move. We bounced here. Like, obviously we didn't know that would bounce there. Possibly, I mean, we had an idea because of this here, but anyway, that's not the point. Point is, we retested this. We impulsed from that, and then we retested that point here. So this is a very strong area, honestly. Like, this whole area is really decently strong. We have a lot of reasons to believe that, because the retest here, a retest as well. We even had this kind of retest before the impulse here. And so what we can determine with this is that this should be like a strong area of support, or at least this should not be an area that's easy to break through, right? So there's really this entire region, from 26.8 to about 23.200, and so that's significant to me. That's the thing that doesn't, or that's the thing that really surprises me about a lot of people that do have these really low calls, like 16,000, 18,000, and even 20,000. I understand it. I understand why you'd want to go there or revisit or whatever, but the market doesn't necessarily give you those kind of opportunities all the time. But one thing you need to keep in mind is like these structures, they have to be tested, they have to be danced through. They just don't go straight. Like you just don't go straight from 32,000 down to 16,000. Like you just don't drop by half in that way. Anyway, that's the one thing. The other thing is we have we have some supportive divergences. It's a very small divergence on the daily. Had the Aaron bullish as well. The 12 hour looks much better to me. This isn't a div per se, but I like the wedge formation on Aaron. It's a good chance that we are going to go positive. That's going to break as a bullish cross. And so I like to see this. This is a good reaction. Really, the only thing is this was a much more robotic impulse than I was expecting. So I think we might get maybe a bearish day tomorrow, or for the next 24 hours, I should say. If we move on to the 4 hour, this is much more prominent of a divergence. You can see it here. You can actually see it way better on the 6 hour. A very small divergence, very very small. And so there's a lot of good stuff here that I like. First of all, I look at divergences mathematically. I don't look at them based on how divergent they look. I look at them how mathematically they are in actuality. So if the math says it, then I say it. Okay. So, but the price action looks very similar, but this is divergent. The RSI really shows that, really enhances that, in my opinion. The AO even does that really well. But the ARIND also does as well, because you got these little, um, you know how the lines are so close together like this? This is a good sign that the trend is trying to form. There's a fight between both the bullish trend and the bearish trend at its lowest point. And so both of them are not trending at all, which is not a good sign for either one. So like if the bulls win, which they did, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are super trending. It just means that they're a little bit less like as bad as the bearish trend. So it means the both trends are no good right now, but at least the bullish one is slightly better than the bearish one. If you're a bear, or if you're a bull, that's a good thing. If you're a bear, then that's not. And honestly, like um, it honestly has not paid to be a short time frame bear this year. As much as I've talked about how it's not really beneficial to be a long time or a short term trader for the long side, it really hasn't been for the downside as well, because you really got to hold these positions for weeks to really take advantage of these positions. You'd have one push to the downside, but if you are a reactionary trader, you would have had to short right here, and there's no reward for that. At least not in my opinion. That's worth it. So you have a lot of that going on. So what I see here, I liked this because you got the divergence in play. Let's go to the 6 hour. It's good. You also have this swing uh, to work with, and so we did kind of go up above it. I guess we deviated, so to speak. We have not deviated yet per se, because we still need to go back below. But if that doesn't work, um, then we probably will go to like right here at the breaker, which would be 26,200. So I would be looking for a long about 26,200. Another thing too is if we break the 50 RSI. If we break the 50, I know this is a 6 hour time frame, but if we break the 50 on that, I think that's a really good sign. And so we also have the bearish Aaron to be concerned about, but that's okay. Overall, I'm probably um, about 50-50, like I said, on this between bullish and bearish price action. I got more hopium actually. So maybe it's like 55% bullish, 45% bearish, or neutral. So I like this. I think this is a good start. And like I said, I don't think I haven't traded in the portfolio for a few days. Part of that is because of the life situations I have going on, but also part of it too is the market isn't really giving you a good opportunity right now. And so I'm kind of waiting patiently for that, and then I'm going to size up accordingly. So that's pretty much Bitcoin in a nutshell. I promise I'll go a little bit faster for the other coins. I think I'll take a little time with Ethereum. I'll probably, do the other ones a little bit quicker, and maybe see if I can get a couple alts as well. So, or maybe save them for the chart request. I think maybe I'll do that. I think that would be more beneficial for you. So go to Ethereum next. All right, we're on Ethereum. I had a pretty good day. We kind of actually did a engulfing pattern, and so that's good. We also had the divergence there on the daily. This is a pattern that I talked about in the Nowhere HQ, and I was not able to take a long on this, unfortunately. But this did work out. I didn't really get the positioning I wanted as well, in addition to what I mentioned previously. So, um, but this looks pretty good on the 12 hour as well. I really like these things, and I really, really, really want to reiterate how beneficial divergences are. I flagged this, I share this to you guys, and it worked out perfectly. These divergences work out literally like 80%, 90% of the time. Okay, I have a script, one of my Arun scripts, by the way, and a little bit of hidden alpha that I'll tell you now. Is I have a liquidity based Arun script, or Arun based liquidity script, I should say, where it tells you to buy and sell. And when you pair them with divergences, it has an 86% accuracy rate. 86%. Now, you're crazy if you think that that's not good. That's very good. So out of every 100 trades that you take, you're going to have an 86% potential profitability. So that's crazy. That's insane. Okay, and part of it is that it uses a lot of liquidity based. It uses a lot of technical analysis for in order to find liquidity based ideas, and divergences are one of them. It's part of the script in a sense. So I want you to just keep that in mind once I launch those, hopefully in September. So I'm kind of zooming out a little bit. We can see. Oh, sorry. Got a little bit of support here. This brings up an interesting dilemma actually, and so we'll discuss this. So right here we have. Let me just do this first. So we have technically your support here, and this is one reason why I use liquidity blocks, by the way, and I'll add this in as an extra thing. So this is where people would say, all right, we're going to retest this area, and we broke below it, so like here's the thing, like we broke below it, let's say this candle doesn't exist yet, like, oh, I'm going to short this now because it broke resistance and then it went up. Well, why is that? Well, we actually had a liquidity based divergence instead. So some people try to circumvent that by saying, all right, we have a low here, and it didn't break a low, but we had the wicks, so they're concerned. They don't judge that as support. So I do something different where I use the blocks, like I said, and I use the swing low um, order block, which is what this is. And so my rules are twofold. One, you have to break through the entire block too, right? And two, the wicks don't count as far as going through the liquidity. So because when you have wicks, when you go into a liquidity area, that's actually a good sign. That means it's getting bought up. That means that area is protected. And so that's what I see here. This got bought up. We finally broke down below it, but we didn't go. We did wick, but we went back above. That's a good sign. That's a bullish sign. And in combination with that divergence, to me, this is a liquidity based support on divergence. That is a long signal, and so far that has gone really well. If you are late to the party, you actually are not that late because you could probably long now and be okay. So I would probably do something like this, long outside the range, and probably target myself inside the range. You could probably take profit here if you think it's going to be a bearish retest, which some people do. I know some people that believe so. So you could do something like this. You could do a double long, and maybe have the other one, up here, to probably like, somewhere in the 1900 range. Let's say 1950 to be more conservative about that. And so that would work really well. So I like Ethereum a lot still. I still think it's longable. Um, I don't think waiting for a dip makes much sense here because it's so close to where it's at anyway. So that just kind of works out. I like Ethereum a lot right now. I think it's honestly probably a little bit better than Bitcoin. And again, a lot of people are looking at 18,000, 16,000, 1,400 for Ethereum, and or even I saw one yesterday for 800 Ethereum. And you look, I don't judge. Like, I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm not saying that that's stupid, but that is a long way off. I don't think people realize all the things that we need to go to get down to even 1,000, much less 800. And so you're talking about like basically a retest of the lows. And I think you got a lot of stuff to go through. Like, people don't consider this. This is a major structure that will not get should not get easily broken, and then you got these as well. So I don't know I don't know if 800 makes sense to me. I don't. I'm really. I was trying to process that for like 30 minutes, honestly, while I was doing something else, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So far, I'm bullish for now, at least for the short term, for this week, for the rest of this week, perhaps, and we'll see how that goes. Overall, I like Ethereum a lot. 4 hour doesn't really say a whole lot. We kind of just we have a we don't have that breaker like we did with the Bitcoin, and so this is kind of what that looks like. It's respecting that very in a healthy way. We broke the RSI 50 as well, so I think Ethereum looks good. I honestly think that it's going to be better than Bitcoin, and that could lead into my dominance theory for Bitcoin. We'll see how that goes. I need to kind of wait for another week to kind of get that video out because we there was some restructuring on the chart with that, but I think we could see. Honestly, I think we could see Bitcoin, Ethereum continue with some strength. I think they already are for another month, and I think we could probably. I think we can get to an alt run maybe late October to December. I think that's a real possibility. So, all right, going on to Solana. This we had a pretty good day as well. We had about 5%, but no divergence on the daily. Little bit different story. But we did have a very wide bullish A run, so that's pretty good as far as what we could expect for some upward momentum. We also kind of got we did break down from this trend line, but we also broke up, so that's a good sign that this could be like a trend based spring, so to speak. I mean those that's not doesn't hold a lot of credibility necessarily either though. But we also had this. We had like a retest of this trend which I do like, and so that's doesn't really work going to here. I don't want to stretch that. It doesn't make sense to me. So um, I like this. I think it's a little weaker of the weakest of the three, but it doesn't really say too much. I, this formation, I can say if we can get above here. Sorry, I just kind of lost my train of thought. If we can reclaim above this, I think that's a great opportunity for a long signal that we could just do like here, maybe target below this marker right here, which is pretty much where it's about right now, and maybe target the high. So I think that's pretty good overall. um, I don't know. I'm still too hesitant above here because you still have this structure to work with. So I think something here at the highs of this local range looks pretty good. Broke the RSI 50 again. The this again, I go back to the 6 hour. Like, no, this isn't divergent. I guess it is on the four. No, it's not. Maybe I saw something. Maybe I didn't. Thought I saw something, but I guess I'm delusional right now. So overall, backtracking that, go to 4 hour. This looks good. I like this long signal, and I would wait because this could retest and go to the downside. But I like this almost double trend support spring. Whenever you get a trend break like this and then you get a reclaim, that is a very, 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 very good sign that it's going to continue the direction that it went, which is bullish. So we'll see. When you get a break of that trend, it usually impulses up. So I like this. I like this a lot. But again, I want this to hold 22.13. I'm actually going to put that on as an alert so I can notify myself with that. All right, so on to the next set of coins. All right, we're going to XRP. Nothing much here. I might cover the rest of these three altogether. Nothing much here. We have this big, huge pivot point, and honestly, this is key, right? So you had almost like the triple, quadruple resistance breakout. The SEC news had the fade. So this is what I'm looking at. If we can break that, I think that's a long signal, and I'm going to go ahead and alert that as well. This is not enough much needs to be said on that. I think this can be healthy. I don't think this is unhealthy per se, but this didn't get the reaction that I wanted to, given the market bounce, and that um, could be a reason why a lot of people are interpreting this maybe as a bearish retest, perhaps, because some coins did not do as well as others. But anyway, for me, 55 cents works. If you wanted to short this, I don't know if that's the best idea though. It would probably just be a break of this low range here. I would say treat this as a range and short from here. have your your stop loss basically be where the alert is, and then go down from there. I don't know if that's the best idea. I don't like shorts at these levels, but you could try for that. I mean, and see, the thing is, even to get like a 3R, you're going to have to go pretty significantly low. I don't know if I'd be comfortable any lower than this. And 2.1 is just it's just not good for me on the shorts. You'd have to, at these opportunities, you zoom out, right? Look at this. I mean, you really want to short this. This doesn't make sense to short. The time to short was a long time ago. I think XRP has the best chance of any to have a good long term R and R. I am not a big fan of XRP, but I understand its significance, and I think there's money to be made off significance like that. So I think I'm focused on the long side with this one. I'm gonna go ahead and go to Binance. We had a slight impulse today, not as good as I really wanted it to go, but we also have something here. We have like this liquidity area right here, and so that pretty much ties in directly with that, right? So this block is purely based off of the wicks of the previous level, and we're resisting against that. So overall, I'm not a fan of this. I want this to go basically the same way as XRP, maybe a touch at 230. Lows could be the stop, and maybe target something like so. 146. This would be a good. This actually would be the best take profit. You could go up here to make it more worth your while, but I'm not sure it would get that high. So again, for me, there's not a lot of opportunities on shorts or longs for Binance on this high time frame. So I tend to avoid Binance. I don't. I kind of see a good compromise. I think Binance itself will be okay, the exchanges and all that, but I do think the Binance chain will probably die. I don't see it being that significant long term because you got a lot of other coins coming out that already have come out that are doing well. Optimism, Arbitrium, other coins like that. A lot of coins are stopping their activity on L to do L1s. They're starting to go on to L2, starting to do OP and things like that. So I don't know. Like Binance is, the ambition was good, but I think they did rush it, and I don't think they understood the innovation per se as well as other coins did. So I think it will get left behind, and I think Binance Chain might need to be sacrificed. But we'll see. I'm not predicting anything. I don't really know anything as well. The only thing I do know is nobody gives a crap about Binance chain coins on the Binance network, right? And the only good coins on the Binance chain network are already on Ethereum network, other networks. So you do the math there. But that's the only opportunity I see. Not good for me in my opinion. So I'm neutral with Binance, but I don't like this retest. So maybe slightly bearish. Got a good, really 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 wide Arun bullish wedge on that. So going to Dogecoin, I mentioned that we needed to wait for this for the reclaim. I still believe that that's true. We have not got it. This is more of a bearish retest for me, and so it's one of these things. I would really just again, nothing really changes from Monday. Getting this retest, no divergence, nothing like that. Um, Kind of have a Dalai Lama, which is kind of good here, but overall, you want this to break right here, and we're not far from it. So if you wanted to do a small long from this break, you could. But other than that, I don't really see much action to take advantage of. And see, that would be below my personal range, so I would not probably do that. So I won't suggest any options for that. But I would probably want this to break above here, and I'll just put an alert there as well. So I'm neutral with Dogecoin. I'm neutral to slightly bearish with Binance. I'm neutral to slightly bullish with XRP, and my thoughts on the other ones. So that's the Knowhere update. So I apologize if I stumbled and stuttered my way through it, but I hope you enjoyed this. I'll try to do some editing to lighten it up, and I'll see you next time. Take care.